Hello out there, YouTube land, to another Old Farts Tips on YouTube. These tips are designed to help you with things you need to do around the house, and tips and tricks that I've learned over the last 51 years. Okay, this tip is about Japanese samurai swords. Okay, Japanese samurai swords are, they can be short, they can be long. They're all swords, they're just long or short. The small ones are called Tantos. Medium ones are Wagasashis. Longer ones are Katana, and the super long ones are Tachi. Okay, but that doesn't matter here. If you're like me, I'm probably the end of the baby boomers, born in the early '60s. My father served in World War II, and he fought the Japanese in the Pacific. And here he is. I don't know if you can see him. That's my dad and his medals that he earned in World War II. As you can see, this is the combat, can't really see it, can you? Combat infantry badge is at the top there. Purple Heart for getting wounded. Bravery, Bronze Star. This is 25th Infantry patch. This is the bullion patch. 25th Infantry patch over here, standard patch that you wore on your dress uniform. He was an expert shot, expert marksman, and many different rifles and things like that. There's a picture of him just going in, and a picture of him when he just got out. He spent a lot of time fighting overseas in the Pacific and fighting the Japanese infantry hand-to-hand combat a lot of the times. He also won a presidential citation, which I don't have in here, for taking out Japanese tanks. But he fought on all the islands, and he ended up on Luzon, and he was severely wounded, and that's why he won the Purple Heart. He earned the Purple Heart, didn't win it. But this is the Philippine Liberation Medal here that the Philippine government gave him for helping liberate the Philippines, because Luzon was the last island he was on. It was the end of the war there. And so that's my dad. He brought home Japanese souvenirs from the war, and that's kind of what we're getting into. Okay, so with any knife or any sword, you get rust. Okay, rust is bad. Okay, rust. This is an old file, and it's rusty. And again, rust. Rust is bad. You don't like rust. Okay, especially on a really nice sword. Tanto, Wagasashi, whatever. If your father or your grandfather or your great-grandfather brought a sword home, a bayonet, it could be German, Japanese, even if you've got US stuff, you want to keep them from rusting. Now this is a genuine old Japanese souvenir that my dad brought home from the war, somewhere, who knows what island he found it on. But World War II soldiers, in fact, soldiers of all eras, even Gulf War, Vietnam, Korean War, Vietnam War, First World War, all of them, all the soldiers brought home souvenirs of the war. They were lucky enough to make it home. Now this is a Japanese, genuine, 100% genuine Japanese short sword, or Tanto. It's not real long, as you can see, but it's pretty deadly. They use these for the final close combat. They use them for utility. You know, that's what they use them for. But if your dad or your grandpa or whatever brought one of these home, you want to keep it in good condition. You don't want it to get rusty. Rust is bad, okay? We already went over that. So, what you do is, for safety-wise, first of all blades and knives are sharp. Don't cut yourself. You got to be careful. The edge is sharp, and these Japanese blades are really sharp. They will probably cut your finger off if you're not careful. So you got to be careful. I'm going to start with that. Okay, so proper way to open this or to pull it out. You're supposed to spine down, cross your thumbs, whatever. Open it up. You take the blade out carefully and keep it resting on the spine. As you can see, this is the thick spine part of the back. This is the sharp part that will cut you, okay? Don't let yourself get cut again. It will cut you. I've cut myself before and it's not fun. Okay, so again, pull it out carefully with the spine. You don't want to scratch the blade. The blade, depending on the condition of the blade, you know, a lot of souvenirs are in pretty rough condition and they're rusty. This one was in pretty good condition. I've been keeping care of this. Now, you should do this procedure that I'm going to talk about probably once every couple of months, every 6 months at the most, at the very least every year. You want to clean and lubricate the blade. Now, you could go out and get yourself a fancy kit like this. Just a fancy Japanese kit. It's got paper in here, rice paper. It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got a special tool here for removing the peg. I'll get into that. You can get one of these. They're not expensive if you want to. And if you got a real stubborn peg, it's a real good idea because this is a really cool thing. It unscrews on the top here and has a smaller peg. You know, this is a lot smaller, as you can see, to hammer the peg out. Bam. So you can get one of these and they're not real expensive out there, internet, eBay, whatever. But if you don't have one of these fancy kits, all you need is to go eat some Chinese food. Well, what do you mean eat Chinese food? Well, chopsticks. Chopsticks are awesome. They always, when you go to a Chinese food restaurant, believe me, you're paying for it. So ask for a couple of these, bring them home. Chopsticks are great for everything. It's an unbelievable tool, and you can sharpen these in a pencil sharpener, and you can use them for any kind of a tool you want. But this one, I've left it. It's just how you get it at the Chinese restaurant. I'll get into why we need that in a minute. Okay, so here's the Japanese sword, short sword or Tanto. Okay, I think this is a very old one. If you can see, there's a temper line. Now the Japanese handmade these by hand, hammered them out. No kidding. And then once they got it all made, they put an edge on it. It's called the temper line, and they cover it with clay, and they take the clay off at the edge. Not all the way off, but almost all the way off. Then they heat it up at a certain temperature in a fire, in coal, take it out, and quench it in water. And what happens is, the edge of the blade, it's called the temper line. I don't know if you can see that. It makes it very hard, and it holds an edge. So you've got a hard edge, you know, Rockwell, who knows, 65, and then it successively gets softer as it gets to the spine or the back. So soft, hard, and it keeps the edge very sharp, and yet the blade is somewhat soft, so it doesn't break in battle. Now, on a big sword, it would matter. It wouldn't matter so much with a Tanto, but it does. And a large sword, you don't want it to break in battle. You know, back in the 1200s, 1300s, when they really fought with these, you'd die, because if you don't have your sword. So anyway, you don't want it to break. That's why they did that. Okay, so now you inherited a sword or Tanto from your grandpa or your dad, like I did. You want to keep them clean. You want to keep them lubricated. Now, this is just the handle here, and the blade comes out of the handle. And that's the best way to do it. Now, if this procedure doesn't work for you, you can just clean and lubricate the blade that you can see. It's better than nothing, okay? But if you can take the blade out of the handle, it's better, okay? Now, that's what the chopstick is for. This is a peg. The peg is through the handle all the way. You can see both sides, and it holds the blade into the handle. Very simple, very simple. So you take the peg, or you take the chopstick, push on the one side. Now, if this is too big, just sharpen it with a knife, pencil sharpener, so it'll fit. This one fits. Push it. Did you hear that? Take the peg, pull the peg out. That's the peg. Okay. So set this peg aside. Now be careful. Now the blade can fall right out, or it can be very hard. The correct procedure to do this is you hold it like this. Always put the spine back towards your body, and you hit your hand like this. Like this, just like that. You see how I'm doing that? Be careful. You got the spine. You hit. Just keep hitting like that. Now if it's really, really, really stuck, you can take that, you know, a fancy, if you got a fancy little hammer, right, and you can hit this, just tap it on both sides. Be careful not to hit the blade or anything. Just keep tapping right here, gently. This is a soft hammer. You can use like a wooden, the best thing to do is like a piece of wood, but I didn't grab one. If you have to, but, and then you grab the, this is the habaki. It's a piece of metal. It does two things. It holds the, it stops the blade from hitting the handle, holds it in, plus it helps hold the scabbard on. See how that works? Japanese ingenuity. So you grab this here, pull it right out. There's the handle. So now you've got the blade. This is the habaki, or collar, right? And then you've got the blade. Okay, so now you've got a blade. Hold it down here. It's okay to hold it down here. Try not to touch any of the blade. You've got oil on your hands. You've got acids on your hands. It will actually eat into the blade, okay? Don't touch the blade, ever. Okay, but you can touch the handle. This is dark handle. The darker the better. If it's black, it means it's really old. Now this one is signed. I don't know if you can see it, but the Japanese bladesmith that made this signed it. He put his initials, or he wrote his name in there. I can't read it, but I don't know if you can read it. If you can read it, great. But his name is there. That's good. That means that he was proud of the blade, and he put his name on it. So it's a good thing. Okay, so this is a very old blade. Now, first thing you want to do is you got to get yourself some, I think Kleenexes are the best, but you can use toilet paper too. Just make sure it's clean toilet paper. And you want to put it, always go with the spine, and you want to put the spine on the toilet paper like this, and just gently work it. Always work towards the point. You don't want to go to, you don't want to go the other way, because you stick it in your knife. You could stick it in your hand, bad. So you take it like this, and just wipe it a few times to get all the old oil and the dirt or anything that's on there off. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Set that aside. Now you can use the fancy oil from the Japanese kits. There's the fancy oil. It's clove oil, I think. Fancy. Clove oil is organic, and I've heard stories of this staining blades. If you leave it on a blade too long, it can stain a blade. Now if you religiously take the blade, you know, take the oil on and off the blade every month or something, you'll be fine. But if you're going to clean and oil your blade and leave it for a long time, like most of us do that are, you know, we're not professional sword collectors, we just inherited a nice blade from our dad or whatever, and we're going to pass it down to our kids, and we want to keep it so it doesn't rust, because it will rust, trust me. You don't need this fancy stuff. What you need, or again, my suggestion, remember these are my tips, so mineral oil. Now this is special mineral oil. This isn't baby oil, okay? This is mineral oil. It's the same thing as baby oil, but it's thicker. It has a higher viscosity, and it doesn't have any scent in it. You know, like, you know, smell, scent, you know. Okay, it's mineral oil. You find this in Walmart, Kmart, whatever, in the pharmacy section. This is actually a laxative. If you drink, you can drink this stuff, so it's, you know, it's clean. It's thicker, mineral oil. Find it in the pharmacy section. It's actually a laxative, okay? But you can use this in anything. It's awesome stuff, and I've got a million things that I use this for, but I'm not going to get into that now. But you want to take the mineral oil, and I just punch a small hole so a little bit comes out at a time. There's another tip for you. Now this one, this hole got a little big, but normally I just have a very small hole right in the middle, so it doesn't come out real fast. And you take some mineral oil, right? And you put it on the toilet paper or Kleenex or whatever you have. Pick up your blade, and again you put spine down. I put a little too much in there, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, and you work it out again. Then you open it up, you set it down, and you work it down. Now I like to go and work it back and forth like this. Just work it back and forth. Again, be careful. Always have the spine down, blade up. Don't cut yourself. Cutting is bad. So you work that mineral oil into the blade. Now this isn't, you're not going to see anything much in here because I keep mine real clean, but if you have a blade that you've inherited, samurai, Japanese samurai sword or blade, and it's been sitting a long time, you're going to get rust here. You're going to get rust. You can see a little bit here that probably came from the tang. So you work this back and forth. You get it nice and lubed up, and it'll do two things. It's going to lubricate the blade, and it's going to clean it. Now, believe it or not, metal is porous. So even though this is highly polished metal, it's porous, and this oil is seeping in to the pores of this blade, and it's going to help preserve it. And of course, it's going to coat the outside, keep the oxygen off of it, and it keeps it from rusting. Simple as that. Now you just keep working this, and then get all the, if you're getting a bunch of rust and crap on it, discard this, grab another one, put more oil on, keep doing it until you don't see any rust. If you don't see any rust or dirt or anything, you're done. And just keep doing it until it's completely clean. Now, I'm getting a little bit here. Looks like a little bit, I don't know. But I'm cleaning and I'm lubricating the blade at the same time, okay? You're done. That's it. That's really all you have to do. Okay? Now clean up your hands. Now if you get a little of this oil on the scabbard or whatever, I don't think it's a problem. In fact, I don't know if it's recommended, but I actually oil up my scabbards too. I oil my wood because wood gets dry, so I oil this too, but I don't know if that's recommended. You can research that yourself. Okay, so this is cleaned. It's lubricated now. We're going to put it back together. Oh. Alright, here it is. Habaki goes on one way, see? Put it on. Put the habaki back on. You can see. Then you put the, everything's keyed. You can see it's keyed. Bigger, small, big, small. Put it in. Careful here. I've been doing this for years, so, I'm very confident, but drop it straight in, right? And tap it down. Just like this. Tap, tap, tap. If you have to, tap it down. No big deal. Get that blade securely in. Now you put your peg back in. There's a small hole and a little bit larger hole. You want to put it in the large hole size. Put your peg back in. Now you put it back in the scabbard. Again, same thing keyed here. You got big side. Be careful with this step. Put the blade right at the edge here. Rest it on the back of the blade. Slide it in. Try not to let the blade touch the wood at all. Just the only part of the blade that should touch the wood is the back, or the spine, or whatever you want to call it. Slide it in securely, and you're done. You've got a cleaned, lubricated Japanese samurai sword, short sword, Tanto. You want to do this if you've got blades. It works on anything. Any knives, bayonets, blades of any kind. You should clean them and lubricate them. Again, safety is king, so don't cut yourself. But there's a genuine Japanese samurai sword, Tanto, and that's how you keep them clean. It'll work on any blade. Again, thanks for watching Old Farts Tips on YouTube. Please subscribe, please like, and I'm going to make more videos, so please watch. And again, take care. Signing off.